Hello there folks, Lone Adventurer here. Thank you very much for stumbling your way upon my channel and welcome to the beginning of a brand new playthrough of a game that's new to me, not new in the community. This is a game that's been around for a couple of years now. It's called Marching Order, and what I've got here is the Mud and Blood edition, which is essentially the original edition of Marching Order. It is from a company called Crumbling Keep. The designers of the game are James Crane, who was helped by Brad Kishba. And I know that very recently, the last few days even, James has announced on social media that they're going to be retiring this version of the game and replacing it with a more substantial rule set that contains other stuff that is going to support the ideas they've got for expansions and supplements going forward. So you can still get this, I think. I'm not really sure, but it might be worth doing a little bit of investigation to see how soon the new edition is coming out. At the moment, there's no date on that, is my understanding, but we're going to be playing it here on the channel anyway. So it's a solo or co-op dungeon delving game. It's one that has a certain type of humour about it. So this is a video that will probably have a little bit of swearing in it, which I don't tend to have on the channel, but if you are sensitive to such things, this might not be the one for you. This is a game that comes with a content warning that warns that various things such as drug use and poisoning and verbal abuse and vomit, body horror, might be elements in this game. The degree to which those things are present, I don't really know, but I think this is the sort of game for someone who likes their solo dungeon delving experiences to be a little bit more edgy. So what have we got here and what are we going to do in this video? So this tome is the rule book, essentially, character guide, rules about combat, all that sort of stuff. And this book here is the adventures, because Marching Order has a moderate amount in common with like choose your own adventure style books, things like fighting fantasy, in that we've got a series of entries. You undertake activities within a particular space. You follow instructions to undertake combat or other stuff, and then you might move on to a different location. So if you went through this door here, then you would go through into location V. So you're exploring that sort of location in that sort of manner, in much the same way as you might do in a choose your own adventure book. Turn to entry 312, that sort of thing. So this book here has 4 separate locations that you can go into with your crew, your group of ne'er-do-wells that we'll get to in a minute. We've got the Decaying Manse, the Den of the Goblin Lord, the Catacombs of Rot Bottom, and the Crypt of Siegfried von Shadowhammer. Now I think we're probably going to just start with the first one, unless I can think of a reason to do otherwise. So the Decaying Manse. I haven't watched any videos on YouTube, but no doubt this one has been covered elsewhere, but it's what I'm going to start with as well, just because I like beginning at the beginning. So there's 4 adventures in there. I know for a fact that there's another book as chunky as this with some more adventures in, and then there's a whole bunch of very small little one-shots that are self-contained delves that your party can go on. And James and Brad have big plans for the future to make more stuff. So this is a game that I'm very pleased to have in my collection, and I'm very pleased to be getting on board early on. I'm looking forward to the next edition and to seeing what is coming in the future. Now, Crumbling Keep very kindly sent me this box set of the game that comes with these 2 books, along with these cards here that you need to play, and this other book here, which is Neck Deep, The Sewers of Rot Bottom, and that is an upcoming release, I believe, that I'll be getting to probably in a future video, but right now For this one, we're just going to be sticking to this. So let me have a little move around and I'll bring you back and we'll have a little chat about how we're going to do this. So this is a game in which you are controlling a party of folk, people, ne'er-do-wells, and each of these characters comes with a card. That card is integral to the action of the game. On one side we've got the stats of your character. In fact, they're on both sides. But basically, as you're playing, you activate the characters one at a time, and then you flip them over so that you know they have been. And the same is the case for the enemies. Each enemy has a card. I guess probably some of these enemies we have multiple cards. I might have to have a quick arrange of these in a second. And they're the same. You have the active on one side, and then when they've gone you flip them over to the other side. So it's nice to have that physical resource, and they're very much at the centre of the game. As is often the case with these games, the first thing you need to do is create your characters. And in this game they are all referred to as rogues. So you have a party of rogues and you have to put them together. Money is very central in this game. These folk are essentially doing what they're doing, going to the places that they're going for the purposes of financial gain. So you will be finding lots of coins, lots of money. Coin is essentially it. It is the one way of improving your character in various ways. There's no XP in this. If you want to improve your character, you will use money to train them so that they have additional skills. And the game really starts the way it means to go on, because you are set an amount of coins that you can spend on your rogues. Each rogue has a coin cost. Just having a look there, it's not on the cards, but if we turned to the rogue section here, for example, the Doctor, which is a character we are going to be using, has a price of 100. You need to have a party of 4 rogues. So if I were to buy 4 100 value rogues, we would have used 4 of our 500 coins, and we would be left with 100 coins. And you want to be left with a few coins before you get started, because you can also go shopping, and somewhere in here it is, the Rot Bottom General Store has various bits and pieces that you can purchase, and I think there's probably some stuff in here that is basically completely essential. And I think there is somewhere here it does say make sure you buy this and this. Here it is. Just a tip from a veteran of delving, you might want to pick up some anti-venom and torches before that first delve. So we'll definitely be buying some of those things. Now some of the rogues cost 200 or 250 coin, so you can't go in and have the most awesome party straight away. You have to get yourself some of the more budget options as you're getting started. And I'm kind of hoping that that first adventure in the book over there is a little bit easier than subsequent adventures. I might be wrong, so that you can start off doing something a little less tricky. I don't know if that is actually the case. Now what I've done is I've already selected 3 characters that we're going to be playing with. I did print out some character sheets which are very nice, but the problem with them is that you have to put cooldown dice on them and flip those dice down as the rounds progress. And so we would have to have all of these laid out, and as you can see we wouldn't really have enough room to have all of those laid out on camera. So what I have done is I've made myself some little character sheets. You're probably not going to be able to read my writing from where you are, but hopefully, am I going to be able to have all those on camera? I'm now not sure that I'm going to be able to have all those on camera. I'll have a little think in terms of how to arrange these. But the point is that I kind of want to have all of these set up at the same time so I can keep the dice on them and see all my stuff that I've got going on. That might not work out. Maybe I'll have to have some smaller cards for cooldown. Do you know what? We might have to do that. Thinking out loud, but that's what I've done. I've got 3 characters ready to go. I have written down their bits and pieces that you need to write down, and we're going to pick the 4th character now in this video, and then I'll run through the various bits and pieces related to a character, and then I'll introduce you to the 3 characters we've already got going on, and then we'll be ready, hopefully, just to get into it and have a little play. So far we have hired a doctor. Seems like a logical option. You always want to have someone to heal people in your party, at least I think. So we've got our doctor. He cost 100 coins to hire. And we've got a sellsword. I think that's sort of like your basic attacky type character. They cost 100 to hire. And we've got a torchbearer, which for your first torchbearer is completely free. So I've gone very, very budget. We have spent a total of 200 coins so far, meaning we've still got 300 coins to go. So I want to get someone really awesome, and I'm willing to spend 150 or 200 coins in order to get them. So we've got a wizard. We've got a were-rat rogue. That looks a bit confusing. I'm not sure. Cannot be bought. Ooh, don't know how you get a were-rat rogue then. We've got a thief. That could be cool. But I'm tempted. Do I want a thief? Do I want someone just a bit more straightforward? We could have a musketeer. That could be good. Just looking at the musketeer's actions for a second. We could have a cosmic marine, but that's 250, so we're not going to do that. Barbarian for 150. And that's a lot of adjacent attacks. Positioning is very important. That's why I was originally going to get an archer, because they can attack from further away. An alchemist, that looks fairly good. They're definitely a distance. So archer and alchemist seem to be longer distance attackers, and I think I'd probably need that. As indeed the wizard is. They can do a basic attack, but they're 200. Alchemist and archer are 100. I think we're going to go for one of those, which means my party is very bargain basement. But I've already done my character cards now. So I'm tempted to say that I should probably get an alchemist or an archer, and then I think if I hadn't have done the card already and I wasn't so lazy, I'd replace my sellsword with maybe a barbarian, because I can totally afford that. Not sure what to do. Okay, I'm going to have an alchemist. So I've got a blank sheet here that I made. We will fill that in. Just get my pens ready. So what stats have we got? We have got a physical. So that is added on to attack rolls, I think. Various things like that. So the alchemists are +0 for physical. Archer's +1. Alchemist has got 2 in defense. Archer's got 3 in defense. Alchemist has got slightly lower health. Archer's got negative magic. Alchemist is just 0. Then we've got other stats: Tinker, Aware, Escape, Luck, and Resolve. So I can't quite remember what all of those are for. We'll probably get into it as we are going. Who am I going to go for? Do you know what? I think I'm going to pivot and go for the archer. So we need a name, and I'm just going to write the character class up at the top of the page. Alright, so we're going to go for an archer. My archer is going to be called Danny, and each class comes with one basic action. And the basic action for the archer is simply firing an arrow. You target a creature 5 to 6 spaces away and make a physical attack roll versus defense. So I'm just going to write that on. And then you need to pick one additional action. Now some of these actions, in fact all of the actions I've seen so far, have a cooldown time. So once that character has performed that action, you put a dice in place. So for example, the archer's duck and cover action has a cooldown of 4. So you'd pop that on the character sheet next to the action. and each round the cooldown dice decreases to 3, to 2, to 1, and when it's at 1, you next time you would cool down, you would remove the dice and you can use the action again. So that affects how frequently you can use the action. Now the archer has got an additional action that doesn't have a cooldown, which I have not seen yet. And I think the reason is because the main action of the archer is to target a creature 5 to 6 spaces away. Once you're down to one enemy, the archer will not be able to target it because it won't be far enough away. So we've got this additional action, throwing stones, that allows you to target a creature 2 to 4 spaces away. Or we could not worry about that and just assume that the other characters are going to take care of any remaining single creature. And we could go for something a bit more crazy. We've got duck and cover, which gives a condition protected to the archer, to themselves. Or we could go rain of arrows, which takes 5 combat rounds to cool down, but you make an attack roll versus every enemy figure. Each successful hit suffers half damage. So that could be really significant in a trickier combat situation, just hitting every single enemy creature. So I'm tempted to go for that actually. It just seems like a more fun option and it could really help. So we're going to go for rain of arrows. So that's the actions in place. Now the only other thing we need to do now is to populate 2 spaces on the bullshit chart. So this is an interesting mechanic whereby each round each character rolls a d6 and something happens if you roll a number that has a quality or a flaw next to it. So what we're going to do is roll up a quality that will go next to the 6, that's a positive thing, and then we're going to roll up a flaw that goes next to the 1, and that's a negative thing. And then if you roll the 1, the bad thing happens. If you roll the 6, the good thing happens. Nice and simple. Let's start with the quality. 3. That was a great shot. Your next action can target 1 additional creature that is adjacent to the original target. So that does sound very handy. And then we need a flaw. 5. I made it mad. Target a random enemy. The creature indicated immediately takes an action. Alright, so that is our archer. Danny, all done. Let's find the card for the archer. There we go. And let's introduce the other characters as well. So first up, we've got our sellsword. That is Lucinda. Lucinda's main action is a hack and slash attack, is a basic attack. Target creature 2 spaces away, and then you do a normal attack. Extra action is always keep a knife in your boot. Target an adjacent enemy, so it's got to be an enemy right next door, so Lucinda would have to be right at the front, which is probably okay. And it's a physical attack versus defense, but then once you've done that, you can also do the hack and slash action as part of that, so it's like a double attack. So that's cool, that's Lucinda. Then we've got our Doctor, Rocco. Doctor's basic attack is the staff. Targets a creature 1 to 2 spaces away. Physical attack versus defense. And then the additional action is let me patch that up. Target yourself or an adjacent creature, and that target regains half a roll of health. So I guess that means you roll a d6 and half it, and that's how much health they regain. And then finally, we've got our torchbearer, who's your basic freebie, not really good at much at all. That's Jeff. Jeff can throw a stone, target a creature 3 spaces away, throw a stone, and then that's physical attack versus defense. Is that 3 creatures away or up to 3 creatures away? Yeah, it's up to. That's a bit more like it. Well, I forgot to tell you their bullshit dice rolls, but maybe we can see what those are as we are playing. So that's our party. They're all done. We spent 100 coin on our archer, which means we've got 200 coins left. which makes me think that maybe I should have got a slightly better rogue. Maybe it's a bit too low level party of rogues, but maybe not. I'm obviously going to be spending some of that money on stuff, and then I'll have some left over. Now, you can hire additional rogues as you're playing, so at any point you can leave the location where you're at, or if you complete the location where you're at, you can, if you've got enough money, hire an additional rogue. And then you have more than 4 rogues, but that's okay. You can just choose which rogues you are taking on a particular adventure and leave the others behind. And then you have some spare ones, or obviously one or more of them might die, and then you'd have to replace them. But we need to have a look and see what bits and pieces we're taking. Now, I'm not sure when someone uses an item, do they have to use them on just themselves, or can they use them on other party members? Cool. If the item doesn't specify a target in its description, it can either be used on the rogue themselves or on an adjacent rogue. So that's good. That just means I don't have to give anti-venom to every single person. So long as some of them have some anti-venom, then that's all good. So let's start with that. Anti-venom that removes the poisoned condition. I'm just going to randomly give some to 2 of the characters. So we'll give some to Jeff, and we'll give some to the Doctor. So that's 20 spent. I think I'm going to give bandages to everyone, since I've got plenty of money. So we'll give 1 bandage to everyone. So 4 lots of bandages is 60, 2 anti-venoms is 10 each, that's taking up to 80. Which means we've got 120 coin left. I think we're going to have a couple more bonuses. Let's give Lucinda the sellsword a rope and grapple. That's going to cost 10. Taking me down to 110. Let's give Danny the archer some tinker's tools. Is that a good idea? Maybe it depends upon... we've got the tinker ability. Our torchbearer is the only one who's got a plus in tinker. Maybe I should be giving it to him. Yeah, I don't know. Let's just stick to that for now. We'll give the archer some tinker's tools. It's going to cost 7. Just notice it says how many slots each one takes up, because I think you can carry 10 items. The Tinker's Tools says 1/2 slots, usually single use. So I guess it doesn't really matter because I haven't got that much stuff at the moment anyway. So that costs 7, taking me down to 103. And I'm pretty sure we need some torches. And you don't want to run out of torches, you want to be lit, don't you? I'm just going to remind myself how light works. Okay, so some rooms have light and some rooms do not. When you go into a dark room, you'll be told, you tick off a box. Each torch is equivalent to 4 rooms, or lasts for 4 rooms. Let's just throw in a few torches. They're only 5 each. We'll give torches to everyone. Okay, 4 torches, that's costing us 20, meaning that we have a total of 83 coins left. Maybe I should have spent more, maybe I shouldn't have, I don't really know. Now, the way this game works, it's a very combat-focused game, and you line up your enemies and your rogues in a marching order, the order in which they are moving, essentially, hence the name of the game. So we need to line up our rogues so that the rogue on the right is the one who'll be nearest to the enemies, and the rogue on the left will be the one who's furthest away from our enemies. So I'm just going to have a little think about that now. Obviously we want the archer to be furthest away. I'm guessing we want to have our sellsword at the front, and then everything else doesn't matter too much. Torchbearer can lob a stone up to 3 spaces, 1, 2, 3, so could hit the enemy in position 2. The Doctor The basic staff attack of the Doctor can only go 1 to 2 spaces. So in the position at the moment, he wouldn't be able to hit beyond the sellsword, who obviously he doesn't want to hit, using his basic action. So really, I think I need to switch those two round. Then the sellsword, that's fine, because they're at the front. And the the archer can target up to 5 to 6 spaces. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So can potentially target the enemy in space number 3. If you imagine that the enemy are going to have up to 4, I guess, maybe more, I'm not sure. I think maybe more. So the archer would be able to hit up to 6 spaces, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So could hit this goblin sneak, but also could hit this goblin smasher because they can target 5 to 6 spaces away. So at the moment, the imp would be getting off lightly. We cannot hit the imp unless we use the rain of arrows of Danny the archer, which hits all of the enemies. But there you go, we've got our marching order all ready. We've got our party all sorted, they've got all their equipment, we've worked out what their actions are. So we are essentially ready to turn to the Book of Adventures and to make a start into the Decaying Manse. And there we go, we're going to get started on that straight away in the video after this one. Hope you enjoyed that, folks. Is this a game that you like? I know it's a very popular one. Let me know down below what you think of it. I'm especially interested in whether the various expansions are worth having, because now that I've got this base game, since Crumbling Keep very kindly sent it to me, I'm a bit more likely to pick up other stuff. I know Crumbling Keep does Kickstarter campaigns quite frequently. I have looked at them on occasion and come super close to backing. Now I've got this, I'm almost definitely going to be getting some more bits and pieces. Let me know what I should think about taking a look at. Also, let me know whether you think I've made a sensible decision with my party. Should I have got someone a bit more hard? I don't really know. I don't really know how brutal this game can be. I guess we'll find out in the next video. Thanks for watching, folks. Please do consider subscribing to me. I've just hit 5,000 subscribers and it's nice to continue to see that number grow. It encourages me to spend as much of my free time as possible producing these videos and covering different games. Like this video, and like I said, drop a comment below. Thanks for watching, folks. See you in the next one. Bye for now.